How can you support your father? How do you support her moving forward?
Major developments tonight involving the case against Sean Diddy Combs, what he decided in court today, and what this now means, the move coming just 4 days before his trial is set to begin. Here's Aaron Kotursky.
He did, and when the judge did, Diddy, who was sitting at the defense table with his attorneys, did not show any signs of emotion. He took a sip of water before he was led out of the courtroom by the U.S. Marshals. Now, his lawyers have vowed to fight this. They are going to be back in court on Wednesday before the judge who will oversee this trial and try to get Diddy to be released.
Well, Bill and Sade, accepting a plea agreement would mean that Sean Combs would have to admit to trafficking and force. And today he made it very clear that was not going to happen. Diddy maintained all along these encounters involved consenting adults and plans to take his chances that a jury agreed.
Mr. Combs feels A, he's innocent, which is why he's not going to plead guilty. B, he's going to be truthful about this case because he wants to portray that to the people who have loved him his whole life. And I think he also feels an obligation to people in general. Maybe it's black people, maybe it's white people, maybe it's anybody who's ever felt aggrieved and targeted by the government. He feels an obligation to those people to say, you know what, maybe I can break the model. Maybe I can show the world that a black man can win, in federal court. And I think he probably is the only person I know of who might be able to actually accomplish that.
The last hearing before Sean Combs' trial starts, when he walked into federal court today, he appeared to be looking for his family. They've pretty much been at all of the hearings that I've been to, but there was no presence of his sons or his mother or his sister who had previously been at those.
What if I told you? The empire that once shaped a generation, defined by platinum records, champagne-soaked nights, and the rise of a cultural titan, is now on the edge of collapse. Not from an enemy outside, but from betrayal deep within. Diddy, the legendary architect of Bad Boy Records, isn't just fighting prosecutors. He's fighting his own blood. In a courtroom battle that could rewrite hip-hop history, Diddy faces devastating federal charges. But the twist that stunned the world? His own son, Christian Combs, is the government's star witness. This isn't tabloid drama. This is a family imploding in public, a dynasty unraveling in real time. Christian Combs, the son Diddy raised in diamond-studded sneakers, who walked red carpets by his father's side and dreamed of musical stardom, is now accused of being the insider who could bring the entire empire crashing down. According to bombshell documents, Christian is cooperating with federal prosecutors, and his testimony could expose the dark machinery behind Diddy's lavish image. Leaked memos suggest Christian had access to, and participated in, the inner workings of Diddy's secret world, late-night parties, luxury flights, hush payments, and perhaps worse. Why did he turn? Was it immunity? Threats? Or was Christian simply trying to escape a gilded cage? Diddy's legal team condemned the government's strategy as ruthless, claiming they've weaponized bloodlines. But the damage had already begun. It all began with a thunderous midnight raid. Homeland Security stormed Diddy's multi-million-dollar estates in Los Angeles and Miami, seizing phones, computers, and private records. But it wasn't the flash of the raid that made headlines. It was what they found. 14 devices filled with messages between father and son. Conversations that prosecutors now argue could unlock a hidden empire. From jet charters to cryptic texts, Christian, they say, wasn't just a bystander. He was the key. Was Christian manipulated into betraying his father? Did federal agents orchestrate a setup to pressure him? Diddy's team insists yes. But the evidence paints a murkier picture, because the seized data didn't just point to a father and son relationship gone sour. It hinted at something more disturbing. A carefully maintained image concealing a far darker truth. Parties that once defined opulence may have doubled as recruiting grounds for criminal operations. Prosecutors allege these weren't just elite gatherings for celebrities, moguls, and politicians. They were potential crime scenes. And Christian, according to leaked guest lists and travel manifests, managed everything from private jet bookings to confidential payouts. To the outside world, he was Diddy's protege. But to investigators, He was a facilitator of the empire. Diddy's lawyers claim it's fiction. They say any criminal acts were committed by outsiders, opportunists who piggybacked off Diddy's fame. But more names began surfacing: Justin Combs, Quincy Brown. Family. Members now reportedly approached by the government for testimony. Betrayal, it seems, has started to spread like a virus. And then came the specter of 50 Cent, Diddy's longtime rival and media firestarter. 50 fanned the flames with cryptic posts, claiming to have access to documents that could destroy Diddy forever. Was he bluffing? Or did he possess truths darker than anyone dared to imagine? Inside the courtroom, Diddy sat still. His legacy, his freedom, his entire identity on trial. Prosecutors dropped a bombshell: $74 million traced through a web of 17 shell companies, all tied back to bad boy entertainment. Private islands, mega yachts, and exotic retreats, lavish expenditures that prosecutors claimed were funded by hidden dealings. And right there on the ledgers, Christian's name. Invoices signed by Christian included everything from party expenses to yacht rentals. To Diddy's lawyers, these were standard business costs. To prosecutors, they were part of a money laundering operation. And Christian, willingly or not, was in the center of it. The fallout was immediate. Diddy's reputation, once untouchable, spiraled into freefall. Brands distanced themselves. Campaigns were canceled. Social media turned hostile, with hashtags like Toward Diddy Exposed and Protect King Combs dividing fans across the globe. Was Christian brave for choosing truth over loyalty? Or was he the traitor who sold out his own blood? The entertainment industry, once united in awe of Diddy's rise, now watched in stunned silence. Friends became ghosts. Endorsements vanished. His tequila line dropped. Streaming platforms saw surges in his music, but this wasn't celebration. It was curiosity. People wanted to understand who Diddy really was behind the diamond glasses and mogul swagger. And then, it happened. Christian walked into court. The crowd hushed. His mother sat frozen. Diddy watched his son, the same boy he raised into stardom, step toward the witness stand. And Christian said the words that would haunt that courtroom forever. "I never wanted this, but the truth needs to be told." Gasps echoed. Diddy didn't move, but a flicker of pain crossed his face. Christian spoke with steady resolve, recounting what he witnessed. Conversations behind closed doors, veiled threats, the machinery of the empire's facade. Every word tightened the noose around Diddy's public image. Brick by brick, the myth began to crumble. The media exploded. More accusers came forward. More documents leaked. Every headline dragged the empire deeper into disgrace. The world was watching a kingdom collapse, one built on records, fame, and the illusion of loyalty. And at its core was a young man who made a choice: protect the truth or protect his blood. So now we ask, was Christian Combs a whistleblower, a victim who dared to speak truth to power? Or was he a betrayer, seduced by immunity and fame? The truth may never be fully known. But one thing is clear. In the world of fame, loyalty is currency, and Diddy's vault has run dry. And this is just the beginning, because Diddy isn't the only music legend facing betrayal. Another icon's secrets are cracking wide open. A scandal even darker, a betrayal even deeper, and it's about to rock the industry to its core. Stay tuned, stay tuned.